My lovely besties, welcome to African Tales by Ifunaya, where every story whispers the wisdom of old generations and new generations. Let's begin. Everyone in the compound swore they've never seen anything like it. One by one, 5 girls vanished from the public eye, all swollen with same shame. The whisper started like a harmless breeze, but turned into a storm that swept through the street of Surulere. And at the center of it all, a soft-spoken 18-year-old from Omahia, barely 3 months into his apprenticeship, with more secret than money. This story is an eye-opener, a warning about desires, consequences, and a thin line between opportunity and downfall. Let's dive in, besties. Chinedu clutched the handle of his Ghana Must Go bag, beads of sweat forming on his forehead as the bus rolled out of Umuahia and headed to Lagos. His mother, as waved onto her hands, grew tired, trusting the big city to shape her only son into a man. Every close friend of the family agreed that going to learn a trade in Lagos was better than wasting away in poverty. His destination, the electronic shop owned by Mr. Amaka, a respected businessman with no nonsense wife and a stunning daughter. Chinedu's heart beat fast, not from fear, but from dreams. Dreams of making money, wearing shiny shoes, and sending money to his mother back home. He didn't know that beneath Lagos' bright lights were shadows waiting to swallow him. Mr. Emeka's house was big and modern, and his daughter, Amaka, was too friendly. The first night, as he unpacked in the boys' quarters, he had no idea that the path to manhood he dreamed of would twist into something that would make headlines, spark church sermons, and leave 5 bellies rising like the morning sun. Amaka was 19, light-skinned, bold, and always chewing gum. She didn't dress like the village girls Chinedu grew up with. Short skirts, tank tops, polished nails. The day she walked into the shop to borrow her father's car keys, Chinedu dropped an entire carton of power banks just staring at her. She looked up and down and smirked. "It must be the new boy from Omahia," she said. That was the first spark. What started with teasing became evening walks. Walks turned into flirting whispers. Then, one evening, while her parents were out, she invited him into the main house. One thing led to another. The floor tiles bore witness. After that, she started calling him baby. The shop's apprentices warned him. "Noga Pikino," Sunday whispered. But Chinedu has tasted something sweet and didn't want to stop. He didn't know she wasn't the only one watching him. The girls in the area began noticing Chinedu's soft voice, lean body, and kind eyes. Ekaette, the house help next door, started offering him extra food. Ngozi, who sold puff-puff near the junction, would tap his shoulder longer than necessary. Halima, the teller's daughter, asked him to help her fix her Bluetooth speaker, then locked the door behind him. Chinedu was 18, but in Lagos, his hormones matured faster than his wisdom. In 1 month, 5 girls, one after the other, gave him their bodies willingly, sweetly, sometimes boldly. He didn't think about condoms or questions. He only thought, "They want me. I must be a man now." But in the shadows, Amaka noticed the change energy, and so did everyone else, her mother. It started with Ekaette. She fainted while washing clothes and was rushed to the clinic. The result came out, 2 months pregnant. The madam next door screamed. Ekaette cried. She said it was one apprentice boy. Amaka's hair stood up. A week later, Ngozi told her friend that her period hasn't come in 6 weeks. "It must be the new boy," she whispered. In total silence, the news moved like a virus. One girl after another confirmed what the others feared. Amaka, who has been vomiting quietly for a week, finally took a test. 2 red lines. The 5th girl, surprisingly, was Halima, the teller's daughter. Her father almost set fire to his own shop. 5 girls, 5 bellies, 1 name, Chinedu. The neighborhood exploded with chaos. Amaka's mother called a family meeting. Chinedu sat with shaking knees as the 5 girls were called, one by one. Each pointed at him. Amaka shouted louder than the rest, "You betrayed me! You slept with me and every other girl here!" Her father looked like he would drop dead. Mr. Emeka slapped Chinedu twice. The girl's parents demanded justice. "He must marry them all," one said. "He must go back to his village," another roared. Mrs. Emeka wept into her wrapper. Lagos life has never felt so hot. Chinedu, lost in his own mess, could only whisper, "I'm so sorry." News doesn't work, it flies. Before the week ended, Umahe was buzzing. Chinedu's mother fainted when she heard, "5 girls pregnant? Uchimo!" she screamed. The village elders shook their heads. "He has brought shame to us," they said. Some argued that Lagos was to blame. Others said the boy had too much freedom. His mother boarded the next bus to Lagos, arriving at the compound, wearing only slippers and soaked in tears. "Please forgive my son," she begged. But no one listened. There were 5 families involved, 5 fathers, 5 wombs, and one confused boy who had turned a chance at greatness into a village disgrace. Mr. Mega took the matter to his pastor. The pastor invited all parties. The compound became a courtroom. Chinedu stood in the middle, while the girls sat on one side and their angry parents on another. The pastor read from Proverbs, shouted about sin, then softened. "He's still a boy," he said. "But boys must learn to become men through discipline and consequence." After hours of debate, it was decided Chinedu would not return home. He would stay and work for Mr. Emeka without pay for 4 years, using his wages to support all 5 girls. Each girl would decide whether to keep the baby or not, but either way, he was responsible. Chinedu's life changed. No more flirting, no more late night tests. His phone buzzed constantly. One girl wanted money for antenatal, another complained of cravings. Amaka refused to speak to him unless it was through tears or insults. He slept alone on a single bed in the boys' quarters. Every knock made him jump. "This is what manhood feels like," he once muttered. Lagos, once a city of dreams, has become his prison. But he worked harder than ever, loading and offloading, sweating in sun and rain. Regret sat in his chest like hot pepper soup, undigested. 3 of the girls decided to keep their babies. One quietly relocated to Port Harcourt. Another terminated the pregnancy after her father threatened to disown her. Chinedu, still under Mr. Emeka's roof, watched Amaka's belly grow rounder. She was the loudest, but also the loneliest. Her friends stopped coming around. Her mother barely spoke. One day, she came to the shop and whispered, "Do you even love me?" Chinedu didn't answer. What could he say? He didn't know what love meant anymore. All he knew was shame, work, and duty. And maybe that was part of growing up. One day, Amaka gave birth. Chinedu held the baby boy and cried. Maybe not out of joy, but out of pain, growth, and understanding. His dreams has been delayed, not destroyed. And somewhere deep inside, he knew. Lagos didn't ruin him. He ruined himself. But he will rise again, slowly and carefully, like someone who knew better now. A year passed. Chinedu was still in Lagos, still working, still fathering children he barely held. He became known as the boy who broke 5 hearts. New apprentices were warned, no girl matters more than your future. His story spread beyond the compound, from Surulere to Instagram. But quietly, people admitted he has changed. He became serious, focused, almost monk-like. Dear besties, if you were Chinedu, what would you have done differently? And do you think the punishment he received was fair? Finally, if you are Amaka, would you ever forgive him? Let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.